Okay, so touching on the last question now, we're a young group here in Mindcheck, and our listeners tend to also be a fairly young group. I think some of our listeners are probably doing some or in positions of potentially starting a new venture or like that big next phase and decision in their life that might be tied to this topic. So, how about this as a question? How can Africans harness mushrooming opportunities or like youth startups and use them as like levers to rebuild some of the communities, some of the issues that exist, whether you're speaking from a private equity investor perspective or you're speaking from an individual's perspective within the entrepreneurial space.
So the question was about how to build their ecosystems
Yeah,
to build their communities.
yeah, how best to build the ecosystems and communities. Ecosystems, you know, touching on the existing frameworks, existing businesses within similar spaces, and just build and drive that.
I think, especially in these times we're living in with, with COVID, firstly, anything that has a social element, I think that's the future. I think that business shouldn't be just purely commercial. I think you have to think beyond that in turn, and then you have to think about impact. So you have to have specific objectives in terms of, make your money because you need that money to be sustainable and to support your community, but have some goals, have some really important top line impact driven goals, whether you want to increase gender diversity within your little workforce, within your organization, or even create a product or service which will benefit women just as much as it benefits men. For instance, that's the gender diversity. There's also the ethnic diversity. There's even social economic divides that we need to cross. So maybe for you it's climate. Whatever you're passionate about, allow that to be a part of your business model. And then I think the other thing I would say is just remember customer centricity really trumps even that sense of purpose. Because if you have a business, because we're talking about business here, we're not talking about nonprofits, or philanthropy. If you have a business model that is purely purpose driven, but is not making money because it doesn't serve the customer's needs, or it doesn't serve it in the right way, or it doesn't speak to them the right way, then you don't have a winning social enterprise or business. So remember to understand your customers. Shift away from, I think this is the best thing and this is what you need, to actually taking the incredible knowledge, experience, and background you have and almost laying that at the feet of your customers. Get to know them, ask them what they're looking for and how you can better serve them. And I think that makes a really strong trajectory for any entrepreneur.